Do you have a framework that links your IT cost to business outcomes, or do you expect to have a framework like that?
Really for both?
Yeah, actually, I think largely for Rich, but could also possibly be for you.
I see. So the question is, do you have a framework that relates IT costs to outcomes?
For us, the IT outcome would be measured by the business processes. And you look at the core business processes, you can look at idea to market, in our case, let's say clinical development, and the manufacturing supply chain process, and then the order to cash, and then the sales force support. Underneath that is the employee productivity and the financial processes. And so each of those processes, you have business process KPI, and you measure those business process KPI. And in terms of cost, I think they're independent. Not only independent, and in many cases, that the business process outcome can be better, can be improved, while you lower the cost. Of course, you can do it the other way around. So those two, I think you need to measure them independently and optimize both. And for example, you look at order to cash, and many companies spend about, say, 4% of their revenue in managing that process. Of course, the best in class, you look at Dell, maybe the best in class in that. They spend about 0.2%. Very low cost. Doesn't mean that they have low performance. As actually, it's the opposite. They have the best performance in their process. And that the reason is that they reduce almost no touch in their process from the consumer when they order, and all the information are captured without any touches and no error in between propagated. So the business process is optimized while also the cost is optimized in that case. So I think the linking is you don't really need to link it, but you need to optimize it together.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, next question. Yeah, you. Yeah, go ahead.
This question is to Richard. Richard, you were mentioning about legacy application in an organization. Second, you were mentioning about the importance of the business rules, creating a repository for that. And third, you were also mentioning about the aging of your staff. So do you have any outsourcing plan, or do you think there's an opportunity for outsourcing to excavate business rules from legacy applications because your staff is aging?
We are engaged in a large BPM project which cuts across many different functions and products in our business, and we are engaged with a partner here in India to do that, and we've had quite a bit of success with that program. And we continue. Once we knock that off, we're going to then go to the next round, and our goal is to create a service-oriented architecture. So we're going to move methodically through our legacy applications. We've owned the particular company and the platform we've had for about 3 years now, 4 years. It was a family-run business, and non-family members have only been engaged in it for about 18 months. So we're just, we're running as fast as we can and making tremendous progress, and we look to sort of remodel the entire program so that we get away from a legacy systems driving process and get more towards having customer-oriented solutions that drive our IT strategy.
Great, thank you. I think we have time for maybe a couple more questions. I had one, Ian, that I wanted to ask you. What do you see as the strategic drivers today in the pharmaceutical industry, and how is GlaxoSmithKline responding to those?
The business model for pharmaceutical, I think, haven't changed a lot. There are about 5 areas that are priority for our company, I guess, for most pharmaceutical. The first is R&D productivity, as we talked about earlier. And that is actually a passion for me about knowledge work productivity. And R&D pharmaceutical is a prime example for that. Same in education, same in many other places. while in agriculture and manufacturing have improved productivity dramatically, our knowledge work in most cases, actually the productivity have decreased, including R&D pharmaceutical. So that is a very important priority for us. And the second is, of course, about sales effectiveness. And the third, a lot of maybe people are not aware that pharmaceutical actually have been, the entire industry have been addressing the cost base of the company. So one of the priority for us is so-called operational excellence, doing more for less. And the fourth one is more social responsibility, access to medicine. We donate about 300 million pounds a year, and the money is not for access of medicine. For programs like elimination of elephantitis disease in developing country, we have a 20 years program on it, and we are close to the end game to totally eliminate that by providing the vaccine. And that, the 300 million or so is not the important thing, it's how we get the most out of it. So the program we work on access is that how we smartly use our donation to biggest, best effect. And we have deep partnership with the Gates Foundation, and those two that we can provide the most medicine with the lowest cost, and by partner with the Gates Foundation. So provide most access. And the last priority for us is the partnership with the payers. We used to have us versus them kind of mentality, and the last few years the paradigm has changed. We work on mostly win-win situations. So those are the 5 priorities for pharma.
Great. And kind of a follow-up question to that. What does the drug pipeline look like for the industry overall?
Well, the industry overall, I think I haven't tracked the industry overall. GSK in the last 5 years have improved our pipeline. I think by endless measure, we are the best pipeline so far. However, for pharmaceutical, it's always dangerous that most products do not make it to market.
Right.
So,
great. Thank you. Thank you. Rich and Ian, I really appreciate your very knowledgeable comments and insightful responses to the questions. I thank you very much for your participation.
thank you very much.
Thank you.